And I hated everything about myself. Just the way I looked. I hated going outside. My name's Alice and I'm 18.
I'm Mason George Cummings. I'm 24 years old
and I suffer with body dysmorphia.
We all come onto this planet as babies with phenomenal self-esteem, with the most positive body image, with absolutely unshakable self-confidence. But what happens over time as vulnerable children is we begin to pick up messages from the world around us, and we begin to compare ourselves to other people. And we begin to doubt ourselves. We begin to fear that we're not clever enough, not smart enough, tall enough, thin enough, short enough, not good looking enough, just not enough.
When I was growing up, my mum, she was so conscious about her weight, and she still is today. Like, I remember when I was little, I'd wake up to get ready to go to school, and I'd go in her room, and she would constantly be staring at the mirror, lifting up her top to look at her belly. So growing up, like, being so self-conscious about your weight seemed like the norm to me. At some point, I used to think, oh, she's skipping a meal. Does that mean I skip a meal too? I would say I started feeling anxious about my body when I was in school. When I first started secondary school when I was about 12 or 13.
Some girls would say stuff at school, but it was mostly me putting the pressure on myself. And I hated everything about myself. I just didn't like going outside and wearing certain clothes.
I kind of felt very uncomfortable. Like, I compared myself to everybody else, and I just thought, well, I don't look as good as them.
I just didn't want to go outside or eat or see anyone. I became really anxious and just went within myself, really.
And I felt like I should change, and it just makes me feel like I don't really want to go out and socialise.
Using social media like Instagram and seeing everybody on that made me feel terrible.
You know, I try to do certain things to make myself look like them, but I can't, and it's very difficult, and I get very frustrated.
Seeing the way they could like pull off clothes and I couldn't in the same way. Or their hair was always perfect and mine wasn't.
My experience is that social media plays a big part in people's self-esteem and how they measure themselves. The problem is that social media is so widely available, and as we all know, the majority of it is tweaked, is changed, is airbrushed, is filtered. So we're seeing often a very unrealistic view of what society considers the norm to be. When we're exposed to that over and over again, those messages sink in.
I think in the way of social media, we should have some monitoring. So if somebody puts like a particular comment shaming somebody's weight, it should be taken down, or even their profile going away, because they're posting that picture to show that, look at me, I look great today, and then to have a comment of somebody saying, oh, you don't look good, is very hurtful.
What we often don't realise is that anybody who's going to body shame anyone else, in fact anyone who's going to criticise or put anybody down, is actually really showing their own insecurities.
Talking to a counsellor helped more than I initially thought it would, because they help you organise your thoughts and cope with it more. Like, you come up with strategies to help if you ever have a bad day, and they make you realise that like you're not alone and it's not like an alien thing to feel.
Give advice to each other and help each other through like everything that we're going through. So friends really do help, and seeing a therapist to talk about certain like issues with body dysmorphia and gender dysmorphia as well, as they both like counteract each other. So I do speak to a therapist, and she gives me advice on how to make myself feel better, and like certain things I could do that are not too extreme to lose the weight or to help me feel more comfortable in my body.
My advice and the treatment, the therapy that I always give to my clients is to start within yourself. Your outside reality is a mirror reflection of your internal state of being. So if you can rewire yourself back to that wonderful state of supreme self-esteem that you are born with as a child, then you become rejection-proof, you become absolutely bulletproof, and you're not even going to pick up these images, these negative images, they're not even going to be picked up on your radar. Once you know yourself to be enough, then you will always have enough and you will always be enough, and everything around you will always be enough too.